Hello my YouTube friends and family. Today I am making Bun Rieu, another famous Vietnamese noodle soup. Let's take a look at ingredients. I have sliced pork legs, some ground pork, some fried tofu, and some fresh whole eggs and crab paste. This is a must-have for this dish, along with 4 to 5 or 8 tomatoes, shallots, garlics, 5 to 6 stalks of lemongrass. I'm not throwing away the lemongrass leaves and the roots, guys. You can use this to cook the pork blood. It will help get rid of that smell from the blood. If you cook pork blood by themselves, they're very gamey, very strong, and you can't really eat. So you can put lemongrass or gingers or both. If you don't have any of those, you can use onions and then some liquors, beer or any kind of liquor to get rid of the gamey smell. And when you boil these, you want to boil it in like medium-low heat. Along with that, I have some gingers here. We're gonna peel and slice. Annetto seeds. We're gonna saute it in vegetable oil or canola oil. We just need that red peppery oil, okay? Some dry shrimps, soak it first. Maybe half cups or 1 cup, depends how much you like it. And 2 to 3 packets of pork bloods. Remember, we're gonna cook that. And this is my favorite kind of noodles. The size are just the numbers are just the size of the noodles, okay? So the smaller, they have smaller size, bigger size, but the numbers are just the size of the noodles. It's sticky. It's sticky vermicelli noodles. Okay, guys, so for vegetables, you can have white cabbage, purple cabbage, or both. And I have Asian long beans, some straw vegetables. I think Vietnamese people call it ramu. So we have that. We're gonna slice everything smaller, like diagonal, thin slice. Some lime's gonna be sliced for when you season the broth. And then I have banana blossoms. This whole thing is about $4. I washed these already, guys. So we're just gonna peel off all the skins. And then we only gonna keep and slice the lighter part of banana blossoms. They're gonna be like really light purple. That's when you know it's ready to slice. We're gonna get rid of all these dark skins, guys, just to the lighter color of the banana blossoms. And swinging to the left, I have bean sprouts. This is some kind of like Perilla mince. This is Perilla, it's purple. It's got some kind of a sense to it, but the smell and the taste are different, but it looks almost the same. This is really, really lemongrass and minty, okay? And I have some Thai basil. You can have a little bit of each or all of these. And then I have culantro. These are called culantro. We just slice it or cut them into smaller pieces and go with the when you serve the noodles. And then I have cilantro, some mints from my garden, 2 different kind of mints, okay? You can tell one have really wiggly leaves and one is not. Guys, so I also have green onions. The white part I'm going to cut about 1.5 inches. That's gonna be for the soup topping when I'm done. And the green part of the onions I'm going to slice to top the bowl when we garnish the bowl, okay? Okay, guys, so as for the sliced pork leg, I happen to have some pork ears. You can wash them and put the whole ears in there and then slice them after you boil. But I slice before I boil. So it's a little tougher to slice when they're kind of raw, okay? So that's an addition to that. You don't have to use pork ears if you don't want to, but I happen to have some. And I like the crunch from the tendons. Okay, so I got 3 pots going on. One's gonna be for boiling the blood. This one's going to be for boiling the noodles. And this one's gonna boil the pork legs. The first broth we're not going to keep. We're just gonna discard the first broth because we want to get rid of that dirty, smelly pork smell, okay? We're not gonna keep the first broth. Okay, I'm going to add that lemongrass. The leaves, you don't want to throw that away. A few slices of gingers and the edge of the lemongrass, don't want to waste anything. That can be used to boil the blood. Okay guys, so some people put salt, but I don't want to because when you cook the blood in the broth, it will pick up the salt from the broth. So a lot of time I season with the salt, and then later when you garnish the bowl, the blood cubes end up really salty. And they already put some salt in the blood already as well. So I open and I slice. And then you just want to slice in fourth and run the knife around like that. And then gently drop down like that. Okay, we're gonna do for all three. Remember when you cook the pork blood to keep the heat a little lower than medium. If you have it on high heat, the pork will be whole and spongy looking. Next, in another pot, I added fresh sliced gingers, some shallots. You can cut in half and then add the pork leg slice and pork ears or pork bones. We're gonna boil that for 25 minutes. Next, I'm slicing my green onions. The white part of the onions, I'm cutting them into 1 inch to 1.5 inches. And the green part of the onions, I'm slicing them smaller. This is gonna be for the soup garnishing as well. As for the lemongrass, I used the mortar stick and pounded every single stalk of lemongrass. Then I cut them into about 2 inches in length. And then peel the shallots and garlics as well. Next, I'm slicing some fresh gingers. And then as for shallots, I'm dicing them up or chopped. Chopped shallots and chopped garlics will be sauteed for the soup. หัวสิไข่เฮาก็มาทุบเนาะพี่น้องแล้วก็ตัดประมาณ2 ดิ้วหัวขิงเฮาก็ซอยแล้วก็หั่นบางๆหัวผักบัวแขกแล้วก็หัวกระเทียมเฮาก็จะมาซอยผักให้มันมุนเนาะพี่น้องเพราะว่าเฮาสิเจียวใส่น้ำซุปเนาะ So guys, in the meantime, I'm going to saute the garlic and the onions. You can put them raw in the meat, but I like them sauteed. It releases more fragrance and flavor. On medium heat, preheat the pan with at least 1 cup cooking oil. And then we're going to saute the garlics and onions. Saute that. So remember, not high heat, guys. Just a little bit past medium. If you remember in the beginning of the video, I have 3 pots of hot boiling water, guys. One of them is for the noodles. You want to stir them occasionally. In the meat pot, you want to scoop out all these dirty foams. 20-25 minutes went by. You want to get a strainer and empty all the pork legs in the strainers. I'm going to clean every single piece of pork leg and rub out all those bubbles and foams. As for the pot, you want to clean it really well. It's going to be a brand new clean pot. And I'm going to fill it with water, 3/4 to the top. Don't forget to stir the noodle occasionally. You want to feel it with your fingernails if it's soft, but you don't want it super soft. You want it just a little past medium soft. Rinse it 3 to 4 times until the water is warm or cooled. Then you want to pick up the noodles like I'm doing right now. Swirl them around, kind of fold them around your hands, making loops. Flat them with both of your palms like I'm doing right now. Lay them one on top of each other, but not all the way on top, and they will swirl just like this. This is how we keep our bung or kapun noodle in Laos, guys, and they are easy to pick up. In this clean pot, I'm adding whole slit onions, some fresh gingers, and crushed lemongrass, and the clean pork legs and pork ears. Okay, now I'm going to put some salt, 1 tablespoon, because I have a big pot. Okay, 1 tablespoon sugar. You can put more if you like. We're gonna taste it later on, so see what we need. And 1 teaspoon MSG. Guys, if you don't eat MSG, check your ingredients label on most of your chips and snacks and pork rinds. A lot of the company now are using MSG. Even this chicken powder, guys, it has MSG. If you read the back of the label, it says monosodium glutamate. That's MSG. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to point it out for you. Right here. Salt, and then monosodium glutamate. That is MSG, okay? So the abbreviation for monosodium glutamate is MSG. So if you don't eat too bad, 1.5 tablespoons of chicken powder. This give it a little more flavor, guys. So I got this from Costco, and a lot of Mexican cooking, they use this as well, guys. Knorr chicken powder, okay? Okay, guys, so now we're just gonna let it boil for 45 minutes. In the meantime, you want to come back and scoop out all the dirty foams, okay? Don't forget to come by every 4 or 5 minutes to stir and check on the blood. You don't want to cook it on high heat, guys. Medium heat or a little lower. Next, remove all the lemongrass, and I'm going to rinse at least 4 to 5 rinse or until the water is clear. It's also a good idea to slice them into smaller chunks. You can use food processor or coffee grinder to grind down the dry soaked shrimps. Fry the shallots and garlic to golden brown. Next, add the crab paste chilies to the ground pork. And then the dry shrimp. Add the fried shallots and garlics to the meat mixtures. Add 4 to 5 whole eggs to the meat mixtures. Next, add MSG, sugar, and salt to taste. You want to mix all the ingredients until they're all marinated and well mixed or well blended. Next, add a few tablespoons of fish sauce of your choice. Continue mixing and blending. All the ingredients must be well dissolved. Preheat the pot on medium-high and then add the garlic shallot oil into the pot. If you don't have enough oil, add a few more tablespoons to the pot. Then add about 2 tablespoons Annetto Seeds. At this point, you want to saute, and I'm going to collect only the oil. The Annetto Seeds will be discarded. อันนี้เขาจะเอาแต่น้ำมันมันเนาะพี่น้องเม็ด Annetto นี่เขาก็จะเอาทิ่ม Next, I'm slicing the Roma tomatoes in fourth. If you have more than 5, that's even better, because this soup is all about tomatoes. Okay, so I have the fried garlic and shallots in here, along with the Annetto seed oil. So we're gonna saute tomatoes in here. I'm gonna put about 1 teaspoon. Next, I'm adding about 4 tablespoons of Korean pepper flakes. This pepper flakes has no seeds, guys. And when you saute with hot oil, it releases really beautiful and vibrant peppery looking oil. And next, add the tomatoes. As for banana blossoms, you want to remove the darkest purple skin. We keep just the lighter part. Fill a big bowl halfway with water, add a couple tablespoons of vinegars, and slice the banana blossom thinly and add them, soak them in there for until used. Next, skim out all the foam, and I'm going to transfer all the meat, lemongrass, onions, leaving just the empty broth. And then next, I'm going to remove all the lemongrass and gingers out. In the broth, you want to use 2 spoons and scoop the meat mixture. Make them into an oval shape of meatball right in the broth and scoop out any foams. Let the meatball cook for 15 minutes and then add all the pork legs and pork ears back in the pot. Add the cooked tomatoes in the pot. At this point, my pot is really full, so I'm going to divide it into another pot. หม้อมันเต็มหลายเนาะพี่น้องแม่บ้านก็สิเฮ็ดเป็น2หม้อเอา Guys, if you plan to make in a large quantity, I recommend you to use bigger pot in the beginning of the process. Next, after everything is cooked and seasoned to taste, add the green or white onions to the soup and then along with the pork blood cubes. Here comes my favorite part, eat. So add a few bundles of noodles along with fried tofu. And then add the broth. You want a little more soup, guys, just to let all the noodles and fried tofu and the meat submerge in the soup just a little. I love eating all kinds of noodle soup. Noodle soup without fresh veggies or noodle soup with all the fresh vegetables. I just love noodle soup. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and respect one another.